Hello all you lovely, lovely people. I don't usually do this. I usually put updates of things at the end of fic readings, and if you ever want to know what I'm up to, just skip to the end of a fic reading. But I've kind of let things slide a bit recently, and instead, there are so many things to update people with that if I put them at the end of a fic reading, they would be longer than any fic reading. So instead, they're getting their own video. Hey, look at me trying to be all professional and posh and like I actually know what I'm doing. Ha ha ha. I fooled you all this long. I shall attempt to fool you further that I know what I am up to. Right, okay, we'll go backwards in time a bit and we'll do this chronologically, or as chronologically as I am able to do it. First off, I was in a comic dub called Symphony of the Muffin, which was run by Goombasa and featured myself and the Lost Narrator. It's a derpy comedy comic, and if you like anything to do with Castlevania, you will like this comic, so go and check that one out. Second off, the luxuriant voice of Ilya Leonov is actually, to put this in some context, I have taken so long to tell people about this that 2 different chapters of this have come out. So, the link that is in this video is to chapter 3 of Apotheosis. But in actual fact, when you are done listening to that, chapter 4 has been released as well. So, yay! This is a fic in which I play Luna and Twilight Sparkle, and I'm given to understand it's actually quite a famous fic, which I didn't realise when he first asked me to do this, but it is a really, really good one, so please go and listen to it. Thirdly, another comic dub, again run by Goombasa, because he's just such a lovely person. Seriously, go and subscribe to his channel. He's got a wonderful reading voice, and he put together another comic dub, this time featuring myself as Fluttershy, the Lost Narrator as Rainbow Dash and Rarity, and I am Shadow 007 as Twilight, and it's friggin' hilarious. A little bit saucy, but go and check that one out. Fourthly, yes, I think I'm up to fourthly. Right, this is a fanfic reading by the Lost Narrator, and quite frankly, I think this is the best one she's ever done. And considering the quality of the stuff she puts out anyway, that's really saying something. It's called I Spoke to Ms. Smarty Pants Today. It's a grimdark reading, so if that's not your bag, you will not like this, because it is well and truly grimdark. It features special artwork by Dustspark, and the voices of I am Shadow 007 as Twilight, the Lost Narrator as Applejack, it's Anna Chloe M as Rarity, and she does a damn good Rarity. I think I've sung her praises on my channel before, and myself as the eponymous Ms. Smarty Pants. I had a blast recording this one, and it is just, I was amazed when I saw this. I usually load fic readings onto my MP3 player and listen to them as I walk the dog, and this one, no. For the entire 27 minutes, I was there in front of the screen going, seriously, wow. So go listen to it. Next, again, this happened again, same as with Apotheosis. I have taken so long to let people know about this, that 2 chapters of this fic have come out. The fic in question is Allegrezza. Chapter 7 is the one I'm linking in the video, but Chapter 8 has been released as well. It has been dubbed by Indubitably Ponified. I love saying that, Indubitably Ponified. And features Ghostly Hamburg as Lyra, myself as Octavia, Faux Snyder as Bonbon, Aeon is the narrator, and it also features Hannah Kay as Vinyl Scratch. And I have to say she's one of the best Vinyl Scratches I've ever heard. So, seriously, go and listen to that one. Indubitably Ponified actually brought out one of my favourite fanfic readings of all time, and that was of Yours Truly, which, when I was listening to that one, it's quite long and really, really engaging. And I listened to that one while I was cycling in Belgium last year on holiday. And I managed to get lost in Belgium. Thankfully, in Belgium, they do take care of their cyclists. They provide lovely little cycle paths, so I could easily find my way back to my campsite. However, I did manage to get lost because I was so engaged in what I was listening to. I kept cycling way past the supermarket I was headed to, off into the wilds of fields, and when I spotted a big crowd of cows, I sort of stopped and went, I don't remember you. And only at that point did I realise I'd been so preoccupied with the fanfic reading, I'd managed to get lost in a foreign country, so yay me. Next up, I was only a tiny part in this, but even if I wasn't in it at all, I would be recommending this radio play. It's called Spectra, and quite frankly, I wasn't convinced when I heard the opening with the first episode because it is quite slow. But persevere, because when you get to the second episode, boy howdy does this kick off. Some of the voice acting in this is stunning. And quite frankly, the latter half of this second episode showcases some of the best subtle characterization in an MLP radio play that I've ever seen. And quite frankly, my job outside of ponies and everything, it is to critique writing. So when I say that, I'm not saying it just because, ooh yay, I was in this play, go and listen to it. I'm saying it because I mean it. And because, quite frankly, I know what I'm talking about. I hate tooting my own trumpet, but I do. Please go and listen to it. Okay, next up. This is actually not something that I am in personally. However, it is based on one of my fanfic readings. And you may have spotted this if you frequent EQD. It is called Flightless Fury. It is a song by Reva Brony, whom, as some of you may remember, does all the music on The Heroic Tale of Heroically Heroic Heroes, and is a regular contributor to the Heroic Review, as in, he's in it more than I am. And he has done this song based on the fanfic reading Flightless Fury, which I produced but featured the voice of Finish Line, whose voice is just epically awesome and full of gravitas and... yeah. And Reva Brony has constructed an entire metal anthem around this. And I listened to it and... yeah, that's about as coherent as I can be on this one. Go and listen to it. It will blast your ears off, but you'll have fun while it does it. Right then, last but not least, I received some fan art, and it is from someone called Lonely Frostflower, which is just a brilliant name. And here it is. My pony owner looking smug. Haha, that knowing smile. I know something you don't know. And I also received a second piece of fan art from Finish Line himself, whom I mentioned earlier in the Flightless Fury song. And he sent me this one, Words as Weapons, which, for anybody who knows me on Skype, was my Skype picture for a while. It's a bit grim, but I like it. Right then, that's the update of all my appearances lately. And I'd also like to let people know that within the next few days, as soon as I have finished the document and recorded the lines for it, I will be releasing an auditions video for a brand new radio play project. There will be a lot of roles in this one. I hadn't realised how many there are until I started counting them up and thought, oh crumbs, there's a lot of people necessary for this, so in hopes it won't crash and burn, just keep your eyes peeled for that. And on the subject of radio plays, this Saturday marks the release date of the second episode of Heroic Tale, which, that one, it's taken 6 months to come out for a reason. I am the only editor on all my projects. Apart from Heroic Review, I will say that now, PDK does an absolutely epically awesome job at making us all sound really intelligent and cutting out our babble and general tangents and things that we go on. Because any review you listen to, if it's 20 minutes long, you can rest assured it was at least double that before she got hold of it. So, many thanks to her. But for the radio play, I'm the only editor. That's why it's taken 6 months, because it's quite long and quite involved. So I hope people tune in and listen to that one, or download it from Mediafire, where I'm going to upload it when it's ready. And thus we come to the last part of this update video. And this is a part that I really wish I wasn't having to make. I am a pretty easygoing person. I'm very accepting of other people's points of view, and even if I don't agree with them, I understand that everybody has the right to say and think and feel what they want to say and think and feel. Because of this, I tend to assume the rest of the world is the same way, which is probably a really dopey thing to do on the internet. My bad. You'd think, after how many years of poking about in this great dungeon of things, I would have learned my lesson, but apparently I haven't. And I got another sharp wake-up call recently, when Fleeting Fancies, a fanfiction reading that I did a couple of weeks ago, it is a fancy pants and Luna romance fic. It is very sweet. It is a very short one-shot, and it is not anything graphic. It is, however, a very unusual pairing. It did not occur to me that this would ever be a problem. However, a few weeks back, about a week after I'd posted the fic, I got a review from somebody here on YouTube declaring the pairing as absolutely unequivocally wrong. They did not like Luna and Fancy Pants. They decided, I don't know, maybe Luna was supposed to be with somebody else? Maybe Fancy Pants was meant to be with someone else in their headcanon. They didn't explain that. What they did do was report the fic to YouTube as being inappropriate, and I got pulled up on community guidelines. Now, I thought that, and in very short order, YouTube did agree with me that it was a completely spurious thing to be reported for. The fic had broken no rules. It had done nothing wrong, but it did highlight to me a level of intolerance that I wasn't expecting. And so, I have to end this video on a very basic thing I didn't really think had to be said, especially in a community like MLP. And that is one about tolerance. And it sounds like such a stupid thing to have to ask for tolerance about. Respect that other people may not share your viewpoints on which characters belong together. Am I a complete Luna Fancy Pants shipper? No, I'm not. I'm not a complete shipper about anything. As I said, I'm really open-minded. You can't be in fandoms as long as I have been in fandoms without being open-minded. And I would plead with other people to just stop, step backwards, and think about what they are doing before they do it. Because this is not the first time that this has happened to me. And previous to this, it was the Angels comic that I got a sudden glut of anti-Appledash reviewers mere hours before somebody reported that comic as inappropriate to YouTube. And that one did get taken down, and I didn't manage to get it back, and I now have a strike against me because of it. Now, I don't do any of this because I am paid to. I don't do any of this because anybody is forcing my hand. I do it because I love it. I don't do it for extra aggravation. And all I am asking is that people please respect the system for what it is for, and don't let personal bias, or let's face it, butthurt, dictate your actions. We're all fans of the same thing. Maybe I interpret it differently than you do. Maybe the authors that I read interpret it differently than you do. That doesn't mean that anybody's viewpoint is any less valid. I may not read it, but cloppers have their place as well. I am not going to speak out against anybody or anything in this respect. Because, quite frankly, if I didn't like what they were doing, I just wouldn't listen to it or wouldn't read it. I wouldn't go reporting it because I didn't like it. So I would ask that other people do the same. Because, quite frankly, if you pull shit like this with fanfic readers, not just me, but with other fanfic readers as well, there won't be any more fanfic readings. There won't be any more radio plays. There won't be any more comic dubs of the kind that we do if you get rid of us. Because you are unkind and cruel and intolerant, and basically all the things that the brony community is meant to stand against. I'd like you to keep that in mind, please. So, if you hear that in the background, that is my dog just despairing at me, talking into a microphone when she wants to go for a walk. So, to keep her happy, I'm going to stop this now. Thank you very much for listening to me babble, if you managed to sit through this entire video. I hope to see some of you applying for the auditions. I hope to see even more of you listening to Heroic Tale, and be lovely to each other, and good night, everybody! Incidentally, the artist behind all the tiny little pictures of me that have been moving throughout this video is Derpy Herp Jr. Please go and support him on DeviantArt. He has been doing a commission drive to try and get himself to buck. So, please support him. He's an absolutely awesome artist, and he deserves to go. So, plug. Signal boost. There we go.